Already a Category 4 storm, the National Hurricane Center predicts the storm will strengthen Wednesday night as it moves toward the Carolina coast. A hurricane hunter with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration flew through the eye of Florence this week, capturing this video. It is expected to weaken somewhat on Thursday, but still predicted to be an extremely dangerous major hurricane when it nears the U.S. coast.
If it does slow up, storm surge is going to become a bigger problem. And also, it's expected to make landfall as a major hurricane. Our track here showing it as a Category 3. Still, we're thinking Friday late or Friday night into the start of the weekend. Notice how it kind of meanders here off the coast. And then once it does come on shore, it is slow moving. It goes down to a tropical storm and then a tropical rainstorm here. And still, Sunday and Monday, sitting here over parts of the southeast. So we could be dealing with historical, catastrophic rainfall, especially in coastal parts of North Carolina.
National Weather Service officials warn of the potential for unbelievable damage from wind, storm surge, and inland flooding with this storm. North Carolina's governor also did not mince words.
The waves and the wind this storm may bring is nothing like you've ever seen.
The governor urged locals not to hunker down, but to leave.
We need people to evacuate. They're putting their own lives at risk as well as the lives of first responders.
On the ground, millions of people are evacuating. CBN News reporter Eric Rosales is headed for the storm zone.
We're just outside of Durham, North Carolina, and a number of commuters who are heading out of town are finding this. Gas stations are simply running out of gas or are low. We did see a steady stream of people as we made our way from Washington, D.C. out to the Carolinas as they are continuing to make their way and heeding the warning about this historic storm that is going to pound the Carolinas. Many are relying on their faith.
Oh, yeah, I trust him. He always has us, and I'm sure he's going to keep us throughout this. My grandma's been praying and she's been calling from New Jersey, and so the kids are prepared.
Thousands of disaster response crews prepare for the worst. In Virginia Beach, Battalion Chief Chris Ludford with the Virginia Beach Fire Department told CBN News people near Sandbridge Beach appear to be heeding the evacuation orders.
Absolutely. Overall, I get the sense, especially the visitors.
There are several threats associated with Hurricane Florence. Chief Ludford says he believes the biggest threat for Sandbridge Beach and the Back Bay Wildlife Refuge is tidal flooding.
And that coupled with standing water due to heavy rains. Those are going to be the two things that we worry about most here.
The National Hurricane Center predicts as much as 2 to 3 feet of rain in parts of North and South Carolina, which could lead to catastrophic flash flooding. Mark Martin, CBN News.
With us now via Skype is Joe Bastardi. He's the chief forecaster for Weather-Bell Analytics. And Joe, have you got any take on where that thing is headed now?
Well, we've been forecasting this since actually September 2nd. We alerted our clients to this threat. September 5th, we jumped on this due to the overall pattern in the Northwest Atlantic. There's something going on called the Newfoundland Wheel. It's a big high-pressure system there. The old-timers know about it. That's why we had so many hurricanes back in the 50s hitting the eastern seaboard, because you have predominantly high pressure over the Northwest Atlantic during the hurricane season. So we've seen this general type of pattern before. Of course, every storm is a little bit different, and so every storm has a different twist to it. This is taking what my father, who's a meteorologist, and he's 89 years young now, called a shortcut. In other words, instead of coming west and then turning north, this is coming directly in from the southeast. And there have been storms like this that have done this before. Isabel, for instance, in 2003 did this. We also saw Gracie in 1959 do this. So this storm, as far as the track to Cape Fear, which is what my company's had since last Wednesday, is not unprecedented in the general sense. What happens after that, though, and where we changed our forecast this morning, was when it gets to Cape Fear, it stalls around there and then starts southwest. Why? Because the high in the Atlantic breaks down and a new upper air ridge develops over the Great Lakes, so it literally pushes it back to the southwest to a point where, even though this would weaken in the coastal waters moving southwestward towards Savannah and Charleston, it would still be a big hurricane and batter those places. Now, let me talk to folks directly around Wilmington, Cape Fear. You've got to get out of there, because this is not like Hugo, not like Hazel, not like these storms that just moved through. Floyd, remember, it moved through in 12 hours. This is going to stay for 2 days. And you're going to be under a siege there from tomorrow afternoon into Friday night and perhaps Saturday morning, where there's nothing but a relentless pounding of wind and heavy rain. So you have to heed these evacuation orders. This is where this is unique in that it's stalling in that particular area and then backing southwest. We've seen storms back southwest before. For instance, the Yankee storm in 1935, originating near Bermuda, wound up hitting at Miami. So we've seen storms have done that, but not in close to the coast like this. So this is for the areas that get hit directly. This is your Harvey, your Katrina, and you should take it that way.
Joe, how long is Florence going to affect the eastern U.S.?
Well, I still think our track takes it inland between Savannah and Charleston, believe it or not, Sunday night, and then we have it back toward Atlanta Monday, and then try to loop back around. And the remnants of this may come off the mid-Atlantic or South Atlantic coast in about 10 days. And when it gets there, there may be a lot. The rain threatened Virginia. Up in Virginia is probably when this gets up into the mountains, and that's 6-7 days away. But it's going to loop all the way through the southeastern states, come up the west side of the mountains, and then trying to come across. I'm sure you remember what Camille did. Even a Camille in '69 hit, and then it hit those mountains in Virginia, West Virginia. You had 20 to 30 inches of rain up there 3 days after the storm hit. So we're concerned about that option, too. You got to realize, folks, this has brought all this moisture all the way from Africa across. Those sea surface temperatures in the western Atlantic are warmer than normal, so there's an immense amount of water coming in. And this storm, we're going to have to watch it till the very end. And a week from now, we may still be talking about the remnants of this storm.